In the fall of 1914, the British and French armies in the trenches of the Western Front suddenly started experiencing something strange and bizarre, but couldn't figure out what the problem was at first. Soldiers who thought they were safe in their trench would suddenly fall, struck by a bullet that seemed to come from nowhere. Many such cases were attributed to stray bullets falling at strange angles. However, suddenly, several such incidents a day would happen, and there were increasingly more and more dead under such strange circumstances. Anyone who exposed themselves for just a fraction of a second or stood in what they believed to be a safe spot would be hit by enemy fire seemingly out of nowhere. When closely observing the enemy positions, no one could be seen firing at them. It was obvious that something was happening, and soon they discovered the cause. German sharpshooters, equipped with advanced optical devices with magnification and precise hunting rifles, were firing from hidden and protected positions, bringing new terror to the trenches of the Western Front. Between 5,000 and 10,000 of such rifles reached the front, along with their accurate owners, and in just a short time, they immediately made a mark on the battlefield. Allied soldiers were falling by the dozens every day, and it seemed as if no one and nowhere was safe, desperately trying to find a solution to this new danger. Thus began a drastic development in sniping, with their deadly games of cat and mouse, developing various creative and fascinating tactics to destroy their enemies and give them no peace. The initial successes of the German snipers completely shattered the morale of the Allies. Anyone who moved out of the shelter of the trench would be eliminated, forcing them to carry out any necessary movements exclusively at night. Sometimes, someone in the rear trenches would light a cigarette under the cover of night, thinking that at that distance he was safe. However, for a sniper, it was enough to aim at the distant red dot and fire. Even if they smoked in the trench well protected from direct fire, German snipers would watch for the smoke coming out and shoot at the sandbags at an angle so that the bullet would ricochet and kill the well-protected soldier, often very successfully. This so terrified the Allies that they quickly developed their own sharpshooters and counter-sniping tactics. Sometimes, a single well-concealed sniper would inflict so many casualties that the entire area suspected to harbor him was leveled with artillery. Later, more sophisticated methods were introduced, such as dummy helmets and fake heads, which they would slowly raise above the trench to trick enemy snipers into revealing their positions. Then, using the angle of the shot, they could mathematically calculate his approximate position and counter him. Sniper duels also began occurring, where two opposing snipers would hunt each other for hours or even days, each patiently waiting for the other to make the slightest mistake. One famous sniper duel took place during the Battle of Ypres, where renowned British sniper Major Hesketh Pritchard faced off against a skilled German marksman. The duel lasted several days amidst the ruins and mud, and eventually, Major Hesketh Pritchard exploited a brief lapse in the German sniper's cover to spot and deliver a fatal shot. At the beginning, snipers worked alone, without specialized sniper units. But as the war progressed and their effectiveness was recognized, sniper schools were established and the development of official sniper units began. They would go out in pairs or alone into no man's land, trying to occupy a favorable position from which they could terrorize the enemy. A well-positioned sniper could score 40 or more victims before his position was compromised or destroyed by artillery. Initially, German snipers were significantly better equipped, trained, and protected than the Allies. They had superior optical sights and exceptionally good armored shields, while the Allies initially had none of these. These metal plates with loopholes provided a sniper with good cover, and even if they were detected, it was hard to eliminate them with counter-sniping. Desperate British soldiers even tried using elephant rifles to penetrate them, but this was just the beginning in the development of literally crazy sniping techniques and tactics. Aside from firing at everything that moved out of the trench, Snipers provided significant information about the enemy's position and movement, predicting their next step as well as correcting artillery. They also raised the morale of their troops and destroyed the enemies who constantly had in mind that, aside from a random artillery hit, now there is someone closely watching every move they made. Let's start with the first and most important tactic. In order to remain hidden and effective in a favorable position, camouflage tactics went so far that no one on the front knew what was real anymore. Besides using the existing terrain and ghillie suits to blend with the environment, someone soon realized that this could be taken to a next level. Thus, fake dead horses, trees, or rocks were created, and inside a sniper would be hiding, peering with his rifle through a small hole. During the night, they would use the opportunity to replace a real dead horse or the remains of a tree trunk with a detailed, realistically made copy with space for a sniper inside. When dawn broke, everything would look the same as the previous day, but the sniper now had the opportunity to take down dozens of unsuspecting victims or closely watch what the enemy was doing. Locating and neutralizing enemy snipers was crucial. One method was using sound triangulation, where soldiers would mark the direction of a sniper's shot from different points. By comparing these angles, they could estimate the sniper's position and level it with artillery or give instructions to their counter-snipers. Another method was observing muzzle flashes. Teams of spotters, often equipped with binoculars and telescopes, would scan for the glint of sunlight on a scope or the brief flash of a gunshot. The British primarily used the short magazine Lee Enfield rifle, fitted with high-quality optical sights. On the other side, German snipers used rifles like the Mauser Gewehr 98. At that time, the Germans had the best optical sights in the world and the most precise rifles, which were real treasure on the battlefield. The Germans had developed tactics where several snipers would support and protect each other, further complicating the enemy's counter-sniping efforts. Snipers in the trenches had to be ready to take a shot within 2 seconds of spotting a target because no one was foolish enough to expose themselves for a long time in trench warfare. They would only have a brief moment to take a shot and had to use it. This was extremely demanding because any sudden movement by the sniper could reveal his position and lead to his end. As no one was safe even a millimeter outside of cover, standard rifles were modified with a periscope attachment, allowing soldiers to aim and fire from the safety of the trench without exposing themselves. This device, made of a mirror and sight system, lets snipers see over the parapet and aim accurately while keeping their heads well below the danger zone. The most favored targets for snipers were officers, other snipers, artillery observers, machine gunners, and even machine guns themselves. For example, if a machine gunner was hit, he could be quickly replaced by another soldier. But if a sniper shot a machine gun and damaged the water-cooling jacket, he could disable the gun and the whole enemy position. The Germans even placed metal shields on their Maxim machine guns or made helmets with an extra armor plate for machine gunners. Soldiers in the trenches both loved and hated their snipers. They knew that when a sniper was present in their sector, they would be safer from enemy snipers and sudden attacks. However, this carried an additional risk, as the enemy would then retaliate over them for the victims caused by the sniper. That part of the front would receive an increased dose of shelling and counter-sniping. During enemy attacks, snipers could cause chaos and disorganization in the enemy ranks by shooting commanders and disrupting command and communication, making it feel as though they were fighting against phantoms. Outside of the Western Front, at Gallipoli, Turkish forces were masters of camouflage and sniping, although without telescopic sights. They terrorized Anzac troops from positions concealed in tall grass or behind rocks, with some snipers accounting for hundreds of confirmed kills. By 1916, snipers between the warring sides had become quite equal in their skills. The Germans now had to be extremely cautious as both sides began employing various innovative and cunning tactics to outmaneuver and defeat each other. Since World War I, the role and capabilities of snipers have continuously evolved, leading to even more sophisticated training and technology that remain critical in modern military operations today.